What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is week number 2025. Coach Ken giving it a try. Just like last year, we're going to keep doing videos, weekly videos, just as topics come up, conversations come up with the coached athletes. These videos are meant targeting the coached athletes here, but from time to time, I'll also keep some of these videos public just because I feel as a role of a coach and somebody who's just into endurance and things like that, like I am, I want to help as many people as I can. So even though that these talks are mostly focused at the coached athletes, if you're a subscriber to the channel here, you can kind of hopefully get something out of the mix. And if there's anything you want me to talk about in the future, you can always drop those down in the comments below or just give the video a thumbs up if you're getting anything out of it. But what are we really talking about now? It's week number 2025, coming to a conclusion, actually. This is Sunday of the first week of the year. And really just trying to I've been writing down a bunch of things over the past couple weeks through the holidays that I wanted to start talking about on some topics for these videos as they come out. Where are we right now? So we're in January. We're in the Northeast. We're in a little bit of a grind right now, right? Cold weather came in. And we just need to keep in the moment of the training that we're in now, the block of training that we're in. Those athletes that are returning kind of understand how the progression of a year goes. Prepping up, specificity towards your A race, peaking, coming back down off the back end of that, coming on a little bit of a rest period, into base building, and now into basically where we're at now. We're starting to plan the years out, goal setting, things like that. So what is it that we really need to focus on right now this time of year? Everybody, it's very important for 3 winter goals that we're going to touch base with right here. The first one is we're in this developing general fitness stage. Even if you've been training all throughout since, the end of last season and all, it's just a general prep. Unless you are in a plan for an early season race, there's no specificity. We're not race ready. We're not ready to perform at our highest potential, and that's okay. You may actually be mixing in a bunch of different things. You might be out skiing or snowboarding with the family and friends or going mountain bike riding. These are all great things that are going to keep our general fitness. Might be back in the gym, getting some of these training sessions in or hitting some of these group type strength classes that you've been missing all season because your volume was kind of so high you didn't have the time or opportunity or the energy to really get this stuff in. So that's the general fitness phase that we're in right now. I know you're probably missing out on grinding, hitting these hard intervals, getting race ready, race prepped, feeling primed, feeling at the top of your game. That will come. Trust me. This all has to be in peaks and valleys and cyclical as we go through the training. That's going to be your sustainability. That's going to be your longevity. And that's going to be what we need to build in. If we just go hard, hard, hard all the time, it's going to work for a period of time. And eventually, though, unfortunately, the body will tell you to slow down and stop in the terms of overuse, injury, things like that. And trust me, I know I was almost at that point as I started my journey. The first couple of years, I went hard and heavy until the year of COVID came. It knocked everything out race-wise, really slowed me down training-wise. Thankfully, kind of, because I was at that point where I might be kind of just going too far. I had some overuse things going on, but because I had to restructure my whole training, I was able to take a step back. No pressure of races that year. I was able to really dive into some of these training programs and these elite best practices that they coach in these programs, get certified, restructure my training, put some seasons in, and then start helping other people. And it's been pretty magical ever since. Also, another goal of wintertime right now is to increase durability. What that means is limit the chances of injury as the season progresses on. And again, anything can happen at any point. Don't think that any injury is something that was something you did specifically. It can happen at any time. We can have those setbacks, unfortunately, and we don't know when they're coming. But we can increase our durability and be able to get stronger and more resilient towards any of these issues that may come up down the road. Also, if you've had some things in the past, if you noticed through your last training block that whether it was a problem with your hamstrings, your glutes, your quads, your hip flexors, your adductors, whatever it was, you noticed some type of weakness. Now's the time to hit it in a way where you can increase that durability. Another hot topic right now is also kind of like a racing weight talk. Like, did you like where you were at last year for your season as far as body composition and weight? because now would be the time to enact a plan before you start amping up your volume and intensity to make those better decisions, clean up the diet, lose the couple extra pounds that we're carrying around if that's the case, so that we can be basically kind of where we want to be starting off the season and starting off our journey for the season this year. It's very hard and not really recommended to do that when, say, you come a few months out from your event and you're like, oh man, I really wish I could lose some weight before this event. Do you try and cut and have a calorie deficit leading from that point forward, do all that specificity, increased volume, increased intensity leading into your A race for the year, but you're cutting back calories the whole time? Are you really fueling yourself? You're actually kind of setting yourself up for poor recovery and possibly something bad happening that we don't want. So now's the time to do it. This is why it's important to have different parts of the year. And as we work together year after year, you'll start to learn that cycle and get better at it every year and make those decisions. Another thing I see a lot of people doing right now is Strava stalking, questioning why is this person doing all this work? Why is this person running at these fast speeds all the time? Why am I not structured to do all that right now? Everybody's different. Everybody has different coaches. Everybody approaches things a little bit differently. I'm not going to sit here and say one thing's better than the other or question what people are doing, but it's good to be inspired by some people and what they're capable of. But when you start to, I guess, try and decompartmentalize what's going on in your training versus somebody else, even if you're training for the same race and they have a different coach, everybody's an individual in this, and you will progress and reach your potential at different times. And they're just, don't get caught up in the moment. It's cool to be inspired by people, but please don't let what you see other people doing change the path and the journey that you're on. There's reasons why we do everything. And as a coach working with athletes, it's important for me to not only provide you with the training that you need to succeed for the goals that you have, but for you to understand and learn along the way and be able to hopefully maybe one day self-regulate yourself better, where you can understand that you don't have to be under the guidance of a coach day after day, where I can take a little more of a step back, build your plan, and you can kind of understand how things are supposed to be laid out. And that's all about the journey and the learning process along the way with all of this. Another thing we did recently was goal setting. I put 3 performance goals in the calendar for each of the athletes, and I was just curious to see like what was on their brain. What are they envisioning themselves doing this year through their races? And another thing I'm probably going to put out soon, and I'm not going to need to see the answer to this. This is going to be something you're going to self-assess and do for yourself, is going to be, what's your why? It's important to come back to that. Most of us started this journey for a reason. You may be doing it still for a different reason than when we started. Whatever it is that's going to keep you moving forward this year in the times of adversity and when you have hard times in front of you, it's good to take a step back and look at that why. So that's going to be something I want you to write down on your end. I don't necessarily as a coach need to know that, what that reason is. It could be a very personal reason, but just understand it's good to circle back from time to time when you have low moments of motivation and just understand what that why is. And then as well, this theme of goal setting is going to be how we're starting the year off. What's to come too is, are you looking to push yourself this year? Are you looking to increase your performance, your potential, and better yourself as an athlete? Or are you looking for that party pace mentality? And either or are fine, and I'm cool coaching anybody on either side of that. And what I mean by that is, if you're somebody who just wants to be healthy, have fun, hit some start lines, get to the finish line, get some medals, get some experiences, do it in the social aspect of things with no pressure of performance, we can do that. And we can set up an awesome year. You can actually race a little bit more because you're not going at your max potential at every race or creating a high level of fatigue race after race. And that's cool. Or, I'm still in the boat for myself where I'm trying to wring out that little extra, see where my potential really pushes, see where that point is, see what I could really do to reach my full potential. And don't ever compare yourself, what my potential is versus someone else that's so much faster than me versus somebody who's just chasing cutoff times at races. All are on the same journey of betterment for themselves and the enjoyment of the sport. So it does not matter time-wise. It's just you versus you. And when we fit that mentality with our training plan, it really is pretty awesome, the results that we can come up with. Race signups. Most of you are kind of have years planned. I don't have my whole year planned yet. I usually do by now. But something I've learned in the last few years is to respect the distance and the process and the journey ahead. The year I did my full Ironman was a year that the stars were aligning. It was like everything was working to that year, and I had the opportunity to go do the race with an organization, a fundraising group at the time, and it was something I sat down with my family and said, "Hey, this is the year. I want to be ready. I want to do it the right way. I'm going to set forth and do the training that I need to do to be well prepared for that race. This is what it's going to entail. This is the time of year. I need us to be all in. We can't, you can't have that stress of fighting. You're not home on Saturdays or Saturday mornings while it's going on, because that's going to affect how you recover from the stress of your races. So depending on your work, personal life, family life, whatever it is, that all has to be balanced into respecting the distance of these races. Those races will always be there. People do these races well into their middle plus age of life and do them well. So that's one thing that I'm working on right now. Is I'm going to be 41 years old. I want to be doing this for a very long time. So I don't want to be rushing year after year and overloading myself with this, because I want this to be sustainable. I want to enjoy the different distances. I'm still having very fun trying to get faster at these shorter course distances. Every start line I go to is an experience and a learning process, and I'm just building that bucket of experience so that I can then take that and continue on with that. So I'm not sure where my year lines up with, but those are just some odds and ends I'd like you to think about when you're signing up and looking at some of these races. The quick topic is safety while running. It's dark, it's dreary, it's cold, it's going to be icy and snowy for the next few weeks, probably in the next couple months. Somebody I follow on YouTube, athlete, unfortunately got hit by a car back in December, and he self-admittedly, in the video had said that he knew he was wrong because he wasn't wearing any reflective gear, safety gear, nothing. He was relying on a flashlight that stays on his watch when he runs for people to see him. And it's a very busy stretch of road that he has to go over in order to get to his typical running grounds in the morning. And unfortunately, yes, he was hit by a car. Thankfully, no serious or life-threatening things, but he was hit pretty good, and that was just one of the things. So if you're going to be out there on the road, I don't care if it's like a 10 or 20 minute overlap before it gets light out, throw that vest on, make every best effort to be seen out there, run with a buddy, run with a group, just stay safe. That's just the biggest thing. We get kind of complacency will kill, that's for sure, and we just want to make sure that we're doing things safely out there. Could have done that route hundreds of times before. It only takes that one incident to change your life, unfortunately. So another quick couple of things here is, when we talk about 80-20, it's a training approach. Just remember, if we're going to jump into other types of events or activities right now, say you want to get back into a group training classes at Orange Theory, F45, maybe you're hitting the slopes hard, skiing, snowboarding on the weekends with the family up, and all that type of things. That high intensity, hard, like things to recover from, things that take a while to recover from, all encompasses into that 20%. So we can't, you can't go smash the slopes for 2 days and then go to an Orange Theory class on Monday and then decide to go run intervals on Tuesday, hit a really hard bike workout on Zwift on Wednesday. Like, where's the easy aerobic base building that we need to be doing? That's that big bulk, that 80% of work that needs to be done for the week. So just remember that, balance it now. Don't worry, your swim, bike, run intensity will be there as we get into plans. So if you have other things you want to dip into right now, other types of activities and things like that, because of the time of year, now's the time to do that, because that would kind of fall into that bucket of getting your heart rate up and fatiguing yourself. Because the big secret sauce at the end of this, and I'll say it from time to time again, is volume, the amount we train over a period of time as consistently as possible. The more we are consistent with our training and we don't take large breaks off or any breaks off and can fluctuate the volume as we need, that's just the name of the game for endurance. In a world, well, this is why endurance sports is humbling to me, and I guess why I enjoy it. It allows me to take this instant gratification thing that we have going on in the world right now of instant everything. We want everything right away. We want results right away. I mean, when somebody texts you, they get angry if you don't text them back right away. Emails, they want emails back right away when you're at work. And Instagram, Insta Fitness, Instapot, everything is just now. Every ad is do this so you can get results right away. Do this so this is the most efficient, fastest way possible. 5-minute abs, 2-minute abs, all these programs that they used to come out with. Endurance is not like that. Endurance is just doing things good over an extended period of time. That will win at the end of the day over any exaggerated, great, maximal efforts that happen once in a blue moon. Consistency is king, consistency is key, and consistency is the name of the game in order for your endurance journey to live on and for you to reach your full potential. It's really, when you're training for your A race, it's really the person who wins is the one that does the least amount of effective training. What I mean by that is you can train 20 hours a week for a race, but was that the efficient way to do it? If the guy who did 12 hours a week or 14 hours a week was able to be just as efficient and come up with the same result if we're taking two of the same people, that guy wins. Look at all the extra time he had. He did it right. He did it effectively, as opposed to the one that kind of overworked it and overcooked himself. More is not always better in every situation. I'd rather you go into your race, let's call it medium rare, cook-wise, if we're talking about a nice steak here, than to go in well done and burnt on race day. And unfortunately, it's just like cooking. It's a slow burn all year until it's just right to take out of the oven for race day. If you cook it too soon, you cook it too now too much or early in your plan, you're just not waiting and you're just cranking the heat up because you want this to cook faster, you're going to burn it. And then on race day, you're going to pull it out of the oven and it's going to be nothing. Nobody's going to want a piece of that. So we want you to get there healthy, motivated on those start lines this year. And for now, that's really all I got. End of week 1. I mean, look at this. It's going to be rocking and rolling. I remember the first week's videos last year, and we're already gone. 2024 memory. So keep at it. Stay healthy. Stay safe out there. Keep bouncing that life 1 mile at a time, and I'll catch you all next week.